Folks, welcome to the Prepared Homestead. This is Travis. Thank you all for stopping by to watch. I don't really know what I'm going to say today, but I just felt that I needed to make a video. I was honestly gonna take the day off from making videos because I had some other things going, but that's all kind of changed. But the main thing is I felt this pushing to make a video, even though I'm not 100% what to say. And many of you are probably going to say, maybe it's the spirit, and maybe that's the correct answer. Just some thoughts, all the stuff that's going on. There's so many people, I talked about yesterday or last night, if you didn't watch it, I posted a video last night late, which is unusual for me. But it was just the spirit telling me that these words probably need to be said, and that's kind of today. But I was talking about how there's still so many people that they just don't get it, and that the reality is it's going to be that way. That if if you could watch a nuke, a Russian or Chinese nuke, watching it come down out of the sky and head towards the earth, there would still be people that would deny that it is happening, or that it was going to be that bad, or that there was anything that we needed to do about it. And there are definitely people that are still, I guess, in that denial stage. Especially when it comes to the spiritual aspect of it. You hear the terms all the time, the things said that, oh, you folks have been saying this for 2,000 years. Every time there's some big thing that happens in our planet, in our world, the next thing you hear is a bunch of these so-called believers saying that, oh, the end is nigh, it's drawing near. Even the disciples thought that, it was going to happen in their lifetime. That's true, and I'm making no claims nor any predictions that we are, living in the generation that's going to see it all come to fold. But I will say this. I don't remember any point in history, at least in the history that I have studied, that the entire planet, the vast majority of the entire planet, are all working in unison for one central goal. You could certainly find things throughout history during the Roman Empire and the different Chinese dynasties and the European expansion and the American continents and all of that you could say, oh, this was bad during that time, and people thought that was the end of days. But it was all really just regional. It was all just things that were going on in that area or in that nation or even on that continent at that time. I can't think of any time in history that we are watching the entire planet, not just the known planet, not just the known world. We are watching the entire world in unison move towards this evilness. It's way bigger than politics, folks. It's way bigger than politics. It's bigger than any political party. It's bigger than any person in power or any person that's trying to get into power. It's bigger than all of that. We are watching the entire world, for the most part, with the exception of just a few, and when I say few, I mean a tiny few, of people that are in these leadership positions that are pushing towards some form of globalist control. The big hot topic seems to be right now is the CBDCs, the digital D. That's being pushed, and I believe that throughout this next year we're going to see it being pushed pretty hot and heavy. These ideas of ESG, the environmental social governance, which is just another type of social credit score system, it's already been implemented on businesses. And that's why we're seeing more and more businesses line up to be as woke as they possibly can, because the more woke they are, the better their ESG score is, which means the better chance they are of staying in business and getting loans and doing business with others. We're going to start seeing that on the private sector. It's going to happen. We're going to see that pushed on individuals. There's already websites that you can get on as an individual and calculate what your ESG score is. This is going to continue. This digital money, it's going to continue. Digital ID, going to continue. Mass, broad spread, things in the arm, going to keep happening. And the technology that they're using to do all that, and this other technology that they're using to control people, whether it's brain chips or virtual reality and metaverse and all this kind of stuff, it's all coming to a head. The fake food, we've talked about that so many times on here. It's all part of the plan, and then that's almost all of that stuff is really the mild things that are happening. Those are the things that even believers, in most part, are going to say, yeah, this isn't too bad. I got to have it. I got to get my monthly check or my paycheck or my retirement or disability or whatever it is. I got to have it, so I'll go along with it, but I won't like it. But that's all really the mild version. That's all the easy stuff, honestly. This other stuff that completely the complete destruction of morality. There are certain moral beliefs that nearly all of civilization throughout all times has agreed that these things are right and these things are wrong. And it doesn't mean that the wrong things haven't been done. They most certainly have. I mean, you can go throughout history and find out all kinds of atrocities that individuals and governments and peoples have done. But history always looks to them as being bad. These are bad things that they did. We even give names to them, like Ivan the Terrible and, the Bloody Queen and all this kind of stuff, indicating that these people did some bad things and that history does not look well upon them. The difference now is that these things are being done and they're being celebrated on a global stage. They're being encouraged and taught to the children. They're being praised as the new norm, as this new future that's great because we've shed all these archaic beliefs and we're embracing all this newfound stuff. Okay, that gender is all kinds of fluid ridiculousness. That children, things can be done to children and taught to children, and it's okay. The consumption of things that are just absolute abominations, that's okay too. We're seeing this all over, and I don't really know how anyone can sit back and see all this stuff, really take it in and see how the world is rapidly shifting and say that it's not that big a deal. You're making a mountain out of a molehill. It's just not a big deal. I can't see how anyone could think that way, because to me, and maybe I'm the wrong one. Maybe it's me that's crazy. I guess that's always a possibility. But I can't see how anyone could see all this and say it's okay. It's not a big deal. It's we're just pushing through another weird place in history, and we'll get through it, and we'll be okay. Maybe that's the case. But my belief is different. I think that we are seeing the culmination of evil on this planet, and it's taken us down a very dark and dangerous path, and we're going to see some bad stuff. Okay, that's as mild as I can put it. We're just going to see some bad stuff, and life is going to get tough. I've said this so many times in the past. One of the greatest, worst things that we as Westerners and as Americans have allowed to happen is that we've become too comfortable. We've become too lavish. We've become too soft. And we are going to pay a very, very hard price, a very horrible price for that, I believe. That's why I continue pushing for people to become as self-sufficient, to become as independent and as prepared as possible. It's certainly not going to protect you from all of that. It doesn't mean that, even if you're as self-sufficient as it's possible and have all these wonderful preps and live way out in the middle of nowhere, it doesn't mean that you're going to be protected from all this. It just means that you're going to have a better chance. because the world is rapidly just it's going down the big white porcelain bowl. I mean, that is exactly what's happening. And I don't want to sound like a doomsdayer, and I don't want to sound all pessimistic. To me, it's just being a realist, and we have to understand that and have to realize that, and find strength within the people that share these beliefs and ideals, and people that will work with you regardless of any little petty differences, because there's always those petty differences. You know, you don't have to like everything about someone to work with them. You don't have to actually believe identically. I mean, there's certainly certain foundational beliefs that most people aren't going to compromise on, but there are many things that are just opinions, and they become petty at times, and we shouldn't worry about those, because when we find people that are, 98% like-minded, that little 2% most of the time is really irrelevant in the long run. And so we have to work with people like that and pull together and build our strongholds, because unless I'm absolutely, completely wrong, I believe that we are experiencing right now the beginnings of a big wave that's going to be hitting us. I don't know at what point will it hit us. And it may just come in small waves, ever increasing, or it could come in one big tsunami. I don't know. But I think that we're going to keep feeling it, keep seeing it. It's going to keep happening. And it's just trying to cook us in the frying pan, so to speak. Many of you know what I'm talking about. And that's what we're seeing happen. We've got to continue to prepare, folks. Keep getting your houses in order. Keep getting on your knees in prayer, opening that Bible, getting into it, drawing close to the Lord, because you're going to need it. This spiritual warfare that's happening, and that's what everything, the money supply, what they're doing to children, the food, the digital stuff, it's all spiritual warfare, because everything that's spiritual has a physical manifestation. And so we are seeing all this stuff. This is all physical manifestations of what's going on in the spiritual warfare realm. And we have to continue to get ready for it. You can be as prepped as you possibly can, but if you don't have your heart right with the Father through His Son, then I don't really know. I don't know. It's not me to judge, but it's probably not going to be very great for you. So the spiritual walk has to be in line. You've got to strengthen that. Just in the same way, if you were a soldier getting ready for war and you're preparing, and you know it's a great battle that you're facing, and you've spent every moment preparing your body and your mind for that war. Well, that's what we have to do spiritually right now. We need to be preparing ourselves spiritually for this war, because we're going to face the physical, we're going to face the psychological, and it's going to be great. But we're also going to face a great spiritual war, and that may be the hardest part of all of this. So, folks, continue. Please get your houses in order. Prepare yourselves mentally, physically, and spiritually. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.